So we are starting to work with word problems, and we want to teach our kids to work through the problems and not just write an answer down or find the two numbers and solve it. So we're using this called a problem solving mat, and they'll continue to use this throughout their grades if they stay in Crowley in math to work out word problems. So I'm going to take you step by step how to use a problem solving mat so that when your kid comes home with one, you understand what it is. So the problem is Johnny planted 56 apple trees, James planted 38. How many more trees did Johnny plant than James? So we're going to start with this box first. This is box number 1. Understand. We want them to understand the problem. So we're going to take it down to who in the problem. Well, we have two who's in this problem, Johnny and James. So right here where it says who, I'm going to write Johnny and James. Simple as that. The what is what are they doing? It's kind of like the verb if we're making a connection to language arts. Johnny and James are both planting apple trees. So what are they doing? Planting or planted apple trees. And then for counting, we're just simply rewriting the question that's asking because that's telling us what they're counting. So how many more trees did Johnny plant than James is just going to go right here. How many more trees did Johnny plant than James? So now we understand who is part of the problem, what are they doing, and what are they asking us to count? They're asking us to count how many more trees Johnny planted than James. Then we move to the next step, which is to plan out our problem. Well, we know that Johnny planted 56 trees, and we know that James planted 38. Those are our who's, and these are the trees that they planted. Now, what strategy will you use is not how are you going to, like, how do you solve the problem? It's how are you going to get to the point that you can solve the problem? So if they can understand this question, how many more trees did Johnny plant than James, is asking them to compare these two and figure out this number is bigger, but how much bigger is it? So a strategy you could use is a number line because you're trying to figure out what is the difference between these two numbers, how much difference is there? So you could use a number line. And if we're trying to figure out how much bigger is 56 than 38, well, we might need to count backwards to figure out how much more we counted to get to 56 from 38. And that would be a subtraction problem. So that would be where they would put subtraction or addition. Later on when we get to multiplication and division as well, that's where that would go. Once they've gotten there, then you're ready to go and solve. So now we're going to take what we just talked about here, our strategy, and we're going to move it into here into a problem that we can solve. So I'm going to take these numbers, 56 and 38, 56, 38, and I'm going to remember that I'm doing subtraction because I'm trying to find the difference, and I'm counting backwards on the numbers line, and then I can go and solve my problem. Now, we haven't taught them the standard algorithm yet. Currently, we are working with base 10 blocks, so we draw a place value chart on there to help them remember these are 10s, these are 1s, and I'm going to draw out this first number, 56. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then 6 1s. We just draw dots for 1s in my class. Now I have 6 1s. And now we're ready to subtract this bottom number. We need to subtract 8, but we don't have enough 1s because we only had 6. So we have to go and borrow from the 10s place. So I'm going to cross this 10 out and break it apart into 10 1s. So I've got these 6 1s, but I need to draw 10 more 1s because that's where this comes from. So now I'm going to draw 10 more 1s. And now I'm ready to take away my 8. So I'm going to start with the top and go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is my group of 1s that I have left. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 ones are left. So I'm going to put my 8 in my ones place. But I'm not done. I still need to do my 10s. So now I'm going to move to my 10s. I need to take away 3 more 10s. This one doesn't count because we broke it apart. So 3 more 10s need to be taken away. 1, 2, 3, and it leaves me with this 1 10. Now, in order for them to understand what this means, we move to the reasonable answer. You're going to write your answer in a complete sentence. So this kind of ties back up here to the understanding. Our question is, how many more trees did Johnny plant than James? So Johnny's the one who planted more. So Johnny planted, that was what they were doing. Johnny planted how many more? 18 more trees than our other who is Johnny. James. And a period because we're teaching them grammar as well. And that's the problem solving mat. You can use this with addition or subtraction as long as you start here. Step 1, understand. Step 2, plan. Step 3, solve. And step 4, put your answer into a reasonable answer with a complete sentence. And that's it. If you have questions, let us know.